Before I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpts of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed, keep it in perspective, I'm an expert about this Northwest way of life, hey, it could end worse. Welcome in, everyone. This is episode number 23 of UpLeft State of Mind, the podcast where it's okay to not be okay. This is the show that unpacks the pressure, the pain, and the process, from mental health struggles to finding your identity and even ways that we can grow as individuals. There's no fluff, there's no filters, just raw conversations with people who are learning how to hold everything. I'm your host, Rizzle, and whether you're tuned in from somewhere inside the beautiful Pacific Northwest or anywhere else, this is your safe space. It's a place to breathe, and it's a place to remember it's okay to not be okay. Let's get into it. So, I'd like to bring on tonight's guest. She is a hilarious comedian. I've seen her a few times now, and I've had, she cracks me up, and I also I feel like she's gonna have a lot of really dope stuff to say tonight. So let's bring on our guest, Eleanore Ryan.
It's so nice to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on. How's it going?
Oh, I feel very blessed and humbled to be here. I'm so grateful anytime I can speak any kind of truth into the universe.
Cool. Awesome. Why don't you, before we get things started, just kind of tell people a little bit about yourself?
I'm really as multifaceted as I say. You know what I mean? I'm good at a lot of different things, but I haven't really picked one I'm going to stick to besides recovery. I know I should be in the realm of recovery and I should share my testimony, but how I do that is constantly evolving, whether it's the written word or through comedy. I truly believe that humor is a cure-all. As someone who's done the pharmaceutical route, you know what I mean? That sometimes the healing really has to come from the testimonies of others. That's maybe how we can get through it. And I just feel like funny testifying is the best. You know, make this really hard things that we go through digestible. I think that's far easier than not talking about these things because they don't go away.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. I love being a mom. I have 2 children, teenager and a little. That's a huge part of my life. They're very needy. I'm sorry. I thought this was a safe space. These are pretty needy kids we deal with.
They are. I have 5 children. 4 of them are moved out and like grown ups and doing their own thing. And then we have a 12-year-old in the house too. So he gets spoiled now because he's like in here by himself. So yeah.
The baby, their feet don't even touch the ground for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like they're very pampered. And I have stepchildren from my first relationship that are grown and have had children. So I have a little grandbaby, which is just the ultimate blessing. Yeah, that's so, because you sugar them up and send them home. It's just a blessing. I coach some sports. I coach Little League. But I really am just a healer and a lover. If I spent the rest of my life just loving whoever I came into contact with, I would die a happy lady.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So let's see here. Why don't we talk about just a little bit about like your history with mental health? I like to describe myself as like depression for 20 years and panic disorder and, PTSD from my panic attacks and, just kind of shit like that. So, I mean, what is your, some people are not as blessed as me to have some fun shit like that to talk about, but what's your history with mental health like?
Overly blessed. Overly blessed. And it's interesting, my mental health journey and my addiction process kind of ran hand in hand. I had my first daughter very young. I was 19 when I gave birth. and I had some postpartum. I didn't recognize it as that, but I was definitely going through it. I was 18 years old with a 10-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a baby. I had no business. And so I had gotten a shrink. And within my first appointment, he was like, Adderall in the morning, Xanax throughout the day, Valium when you go to sleep. So at 18, I had three of the most sought after narcotics in copious amounts.
Yeah.
So, and it was for OCD, anxiety, probably a little bipolar. Um, but once they gave me all that, I never took the Prozac. I didn't need Prozac. I could up myself and down myself
Oh yeah.
at all times.
Yeah.
So I see that's a narrative I see. I used it as a quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone does. I can imagine that there are people who can take it as prescribed, but that's a risk you definitely run.
Yeah.
So in my recovery, I had to really, and people will say if a doctor prescribes it, you're good. But I know myself well enough to know once it's out of the doctor's hand and in mine, we'll divvy it out as we see fit. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have that control.
I mean, nobody knows you better than you, right? So, I mean, if the doctor says, take one, then, but you maybe need two. So, yeah, sure, take two or so, exactly. Yeah. It's,
And then all of a sudden, the one that they're giving you doesn't even cut it. You've got this
mm-hmm.
internal physical dependency. And if you tell them you have the dependency, they're going to rip you off of it and you're forced into a detox. Most of the time, you don't have medical aid,
Yep.
which a lot of people don't understand that some of these, like benzodiazepines and alcohol, you can have all the will in the world, but you will die during detox if you're not medically aided in it.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people, I was one of them, started these treatment processes not really knowing what the other side of it looked like. And you come with some of these medications like Adderall and ask the doctor, what do my insides look in 10 years? What are they going to look like? And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you're the test generation.
Cool.
So I haven't really figured out how to navigate my mental health issues with the aid of doctors until I get some serious recovery under my belt. Right now, I'm in the season of on my knees praying
Mm-hmm.
or chronic meditation in hopes that it gets better. But mental health is such a huge piece of what society is dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
The shame is so heavy. And luckily, I'm shameless, right? So if someone's got to fall on the sword to have the hard conversation and own the fumbles along the way, like please let me do it. Like I will tell you how I fumbled all day if it keeps somebody from repeating those patterns. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that's kind of all we can do is accept the missteps that we make and then try to learn from them ourselves and then share with others so that others can hopefully not make the same missteps or that they have a little bit of know-how so that
Right.
if they do make the misstep they know they're not alone or they know how to get through it a little better or
Or that there's great.
uh-oh we we flipped. We may be having some difficulties. Yep, she is sideways. And I can't hear you anymore either. Can you hear me? Hang with us, chat. How's everybody doing? We got a little bit of technical difficulties here. Christine Durnan in the chat says, so excited. Eric King says, what's upper guys? Dustin Blake says, recovery is life. Keep it up. I don't think she can hear me right now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No, can't hear me. You can hear me a little bit. So yeah, you your camera's like sideways. I don't know what happened. Something happened and you flipped sideways and I can't hear you. Maybe try to disconnect and then connect back up to the stream. Okay. It's a live stream. We go through this shit. It's okay. We figure it out. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys are on YouTube or if you guys are on Facebook, go over to the YouTube channel and hit that like button, hit that sub button. Here she is back. Let's see here. There she is. Okay. Can you hear me? No. Uh-oh. I could hear you for a second. Yeah. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Hang tough here, guys.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can't hear you. This is awful. I'm tech challenged.
Oh no, I can hear you. Uh-oh, you can't hear me. That's interesting. Let me Uh-oh, I can't hear you now. Oh no. Let's see here. Oh, I heard you for a second. Uh-oh. Lost her again. Sorry guys, we are having a bit of connection issues on her end, I think, which is causing the audio to have some issues. If you guys are on Twitch or Facebook, like I said, come over to the YouTube channel. Thanks for everyone chiming in the chat, and we are trying our best to get things figured out. She kind of mentioned that she had some outlets. It's really good to have outlets that you can use to send her tech assist. Nice. It's good to have outlets that you can use when things get tough, so you don't feel all alone, and Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay.
And now everyone knows I'm a real comedian and I can't do nothing else.
We can hear you though, so that's good. Okay, we are back.
Technical errors.
Yeah.
Real people problems.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
It wouldn't be a live show without a little bit of technical issues, so that's fine. That's what we're here for. So why don't we talk a bit about some of your you mentioned a little bit about some outlets that you have. What are some outlets for when things get tough?
Yeah, I might be the only person to use this as much as I do, but I'm a huge I'm a chick of faith.
Yeah.
Fat faith, because I was so upset when I got sick again, because I had 16 years of recovery. So I had a horrible relapse. And I was so mad at God that I was like, I went for answers in the Bible. And I wanted to know that someone had suffered the way I suffered and still came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in there. Every issue you could think of: adultery, theft, murder, a lack of self-love, a lack of communal love. All of those things are touched on in the Bible with ways to get through it. So, in recovery, they tell you, or I absolutely started the same way everyone else does, where I'm like, I don't need a higher power.
Yeah.
but this is the longest I've ever been sober. Over the last 15 years, I get a couple months here, a couple months there. But a higher source is absolutely what I hang my hat on. And I even get as ballsy as to try to minister through the mic,
Yeah.
because I try to think like, how do I get through to me? And it's talking about filthy stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
filthy. We're going to talk about the addiction, and we're going to talk about the lust, and we're going to talk about envy, which is something that's running rampant this day and age. If you get online and you can see that Jimmy's got a new car and Barbara just got the best honeymoon ever, it gives you a lot to be envious of.
Mm-hmm.
But I really had a moment with God at one point where I heard clear as day, your purpose is to heal people. Go, like, you have to get rid of all of your shame, and you have to show up every day and just be an example. And so a lot of people tell me, like, you talk about your recovery a lot. And I'm like, recovery, family, community, comedy.
Well, and
If
it's
you
such a
don't
huge
put the
part of your
recovery,
life, you know? Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And part of my relapse was coming into the arena during the disease. And let me tell you what, nobody's told the funny chick no. Once you're fun, if you get too funny, you don't run out.
Right.
So then you're not even broke to take a break. Now you have to say no, and you have to have some kind of internal strength that you didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky enough to be put in a position where it was do or die.
Yeah.
And so then, mama didn't raise no punk. So I had to do.
Yeah.
Dying wasn't an option. That would seem like an easy out.
Yeah. So what made you why comedy? What made you do comedy? Like what brought you to that?
Everyone told me you can't say that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Everyone told me you gotta tone it down. And
Yeah.
someone once told me, like, if you don't want to tone it down, you should go into entertainment. You should go into comedy. And I did. And I did really well. And then I met my spouse, and I took a 5-year break
Mm-hmm.
until I was so unhappy at one day that after COVID, I was like, if I don't find an open mic, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then right back into it, full force.
Yep. Well, that's what happens sometimes. I mean, with those things that we're meant to do and we're meant to share through or be a part of. Like I've done that with music, taking multiple breaks, and it always just fucking pulls you right back, and then and it feels like every time I've come back, it's like a new evolution of me and a new something. I have something new to offer to the platform or whatever it is.
And I don't know if it was this way for you, but oftentimes when I come up with a new 10-minute set or something new to speak with visceral enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
it is usually after some kind of trauma. Like my best comedy comes from a deep suffering. And I get to a place nowadays where when something's really hard, I'm like, we're about to level up.
Mm-hmm.
It does not get this hard unless something bigger is right on the precipice.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's what failure's for, and that's what the hard times are for, is to give you those tools and those building blocks to repeat, to rinse and repeat until you don't, fail again. It's giving you the tools of how to
Love
do it
that.
correctly the next time.
Wash, rinse, and repeat. That was
Yeah.
the first year of my life. Wake up, cook the food, eat the food, go to bed. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
make it complicated. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing is in the first year of recovery, people really have so much shame and so much guilt that they're just like balls to the wall, which was me too. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to make it right with everybody, but slow and steady for sure wins this race.
Yeah.
There are days where you just need to lay in bed, and that's okay. It's okay to halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. You just take a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we should allot that,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's the other thing is I don't to say that the journey of the addict is so hard is true, but it's not, two things can be true at once. It can be really hard, and then everyone who was around us, who loved us, who suffered, they also have their own, you know what I mean, feelings when we get
Mm-hmm.
into recovery and when we're trying to make it right. You know, not everybody forgets right away and not everybody forgives right away.
Yeah.
It's just to continue to move through the shame, because it reminds me, this was the best analogy I ever got, and it was for my kids. When I came home from rehab, I was devastated. I was like, I will never make this right with my children. Like, they will never forget this. They will never forgive me. And someone said, no, this is like the credit bureau. You can get sober, and if you owe $1 million, you can pay the $1 million, but your credit's still garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, so every time my kids need something, I'm like, yes, this is a transaction in which I can make a payment, and over time we're going to get good. And it took
Uh-huh.
a little bit of time, but I think, especially now in society, that if your kids are grown enough, you know, the people who love you, um, there is grace.
That you took the word right off my tongue. I was
Right?
gonna say
There,
you have to give yourself grace. You have to be able to not, I mean, hold yourself accountable, but give yourself the grace, because nobody's perfect, and
that's
we
right.
all learn through things. We don't. It's not just a failure and then we move on, and it's okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
fail, because you know
And let's be
there's
real, a
something
lot
there.
of the people who never go into addiction, who never have these struggles, it's because they were raised on testimony of someone who did.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was talked about. And, you know, but the idea that we live in the same society that we lived in before is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Things are moving and shaking. The drug world is not the same. Um, the pharmaceutical world's not the same.
Yeah.
I watch people who should be on narcotics not be able to be on narcotics because other people abuse the system.
Yeah.
Um, there's so many moving pieces that if we stop the conversation, I really feel like there's a doomed energy in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm so grateful that you
Yeah.
do what you do, right? Is you cultivate space for people to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So good on you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. And it's real. That's life. Like I say, like, we don't, these are the important questions and the important conversations, but they don't get had, all the time. They don't get had at all. And so it's just, it's a blessing for me to even be able to provide this platform for people, and then to have so many people come on just right away. I mean, I've done this for just a couple months, and I'm already 23 episodes in, and it's just we're just getting started. And I love the direction and where it's going, and the effect that we're having already, and that people like you are willing to come on and be vulnerable and be honest and just share. I really appreciate it.
I ask God all the time. I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? What do you want me to do with all of this suffering? Like, I don't want to tell people about this. This is awful. And I can feel it. Like, then who's going to?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to? And I look to Jelly Roll a whole bunch for how to
Yeah.
navigate notoriety with faith. And you hear him say it, yo, the world needs Jesus. Like, it is what it is. So like, I hate organized religion, and I'll use that word hate. Like, I really struggle with the church. I really struggle with tithing. I struggle with some of those things, but I'm very spiritual. So it's easy for me to know that I went through those things if I bite the idea that there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That you're supposed to trailblaze for others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know
Um,
that what would happen if we didn't.
yeah, absolutely. And I hope that what we do can just be an example for more people. And I just hope that more people can start to open up and start to vocalize how they feel, and because there's so many things I think that can be avoided just by people talking to one another. in one capacity or the
For
next.
sure. That's without a doubt. And listening to hear. Listening to
Hmm.
hear and not listening to respond, which is my biggest, like, I'm so bad at this. I need to just learn to shut my mouth. But
Oh,
to
me
really
too.
listen
Yeah.
to people.
Hmm. Yeah, I do it too, and I'm just like, I'll sit there like at work, and I'm like, in the morning we're bullshitting in the little circle, and I'm like, when is it my turn to say something? But it's like, just
For
like
real.
relax, bro. Just absorb what they're talking about. Not everybody needs to hear your opinion all the time, and like maybe someone else needs to say something that's more important than your stupid whatever. That might
Well, and
actually
I'm just
mean
so
something.
eager. I'm like a dog at the gate, like, "Rrr." But really, like, sometimes, someone told you got 2 ears and one mouth. And I'm like, that's fair. But I really like to run this mouth. I don't know what to do about it. So just make sure
Yeah,
that we say things that carry weight. I try not to speak just to speak. That's something I did for 10 years. And to be honest with you, I said things that carried no weight, no substance, and made me look terrible.
yeah. Well, I
Like,
mean,
it's a journey.
yeah. Yeah, just being deliberate, trying to be deliberate in your actions and the things that you say, the message that you get across. I've had to work with that a lot. Just remembering that, because I used to just spew whatever I felt like on social media, on Facebook,
Me
and like, dude, but
too.
like, come on, I had like as small or whatever size my platform is at any given time that I do have a platform, and so I have to remember that, and try to use it for what my main intentions are in life, and not just for sharing a not so positive opinion here and there. That's there.
Oh,
There's
my
Twitter.
crash out
There's
season is
Twitter
like,
for that or something. So
yeah, you can go on
uh,
that stuff.
yeah.
No, but it's real. And I really struggle to keep a platform. Like, I struggle even wanting to move forward with this because there's that running narrative in my head. Yeah, but don't you remember all those mistakes you made? Don't you remember when you weren't healed, Eleanor? Like, what if people talk about it? And I have to be like, you know what? It's okay. Because
Hmm.
that I was broken and I was trying to survive. And so the people who want to know me now, I'm so excited to know those people. And the
Yeah.
people who don't, who are stuck on unhealed Eleanor, I have to be okay with that. Like, I
Hmm.
just have to be. But
Yeah.
every once in a while, I feel it. And to say I don't shed tears over with guilt would be a lie. But what do we do? Like, I can't go backwards. I can't change those things. So I
No.
just work so hard these days to show up every day. If I get the phone call from a homie saying, look, I'm struggling, I have to get in my car. I have to go have the conversation. We have to offer a meeting. Like, and I feel like if I could do that until I die, then maybe I will have given society more to remember me by.
Hmm. Well, I think it's amazing that you're just having that mentality, that like, if someone calls and needs help, like, no questions asked, and that's huge.
I feel like
People
it's the way
more
I
people
died.
need that. More people need you, people like you, in their life, on that speed dial button.
My goal is to be some kind of example that, like, we just can't let shame win. We just can't let shame win. Shame is the
Hmm.
devil. Like, we are spiritual entities trying our best in a human experience. And that human experience sometimes contains lust, deceit, drug use, alcohol abuse. Like, there's all of these things that we stuff into that hole in our heart. Um, and that hole is there because we don't want to talk about it.
Hmm.
Like, nobody wants to talk about it. And that's crazy. Sometimes I'll stand in a room and go, man, we're all just going to stand here, right? And there's this big elephant. But I do. I'll bring it up. And with that comes a lot of licking wounds. When you kind of call somebody out in the carpet and you're like, you know what, homie, I don't like this. I don't like your movement. I'm kind of worried about you. Get it
Yeah.
together. You got to come
Yeah.
around and lick the wound and say, but I care about you. And if you need a homie to go to the meeting with you, I got you. But, like, you're not fooling me.
Yeah. Well,
And
people
that's
need
hard.
that. People need that tough love sometimes. They need someone that's going to be real with them, and share the honest truth.
Yes, because I think enabling is a huge part of this disease, and that you can actually love someone to death. You know, if you,
Oh,
I just need
absolutely.
$10 and you give them the $10 and that's
Hmm.
the last $10 they spend. So there
Yeah.
is something to be say about, if you truly love them, don't open your front door. Set the hard boundary.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really hard to do too. I think that's just part of the human experience.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's people I've seen it firsthand. People struggle with that big time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because 9 out of 10 times it's a family disease.
Hmm.
And if the sick one gets better, the surrounding family members and friends, they don't know what to do with themselves. Like their whole lives have been built around, is she safe? Does she have money for her bills? Is she going to call me in a mood? And so it's like a rebranding and a reconnoitering of the whole unit,
Yeah.
because now everybody's part looks really different.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's easier to sit in the devil that than try to start over. But if I could preach to people how good it is on the other side, if I could be like, no, you guys don't understand. I spent a decade praying for this life. And all it took was to walk away from the bag or the script or the bottle or the side hose or whatever it is
Hmm.
that's got you plugged up. Um, just how do you put it into words for people?
Yeah,
And I
they
wasn't,
it's
I was a nasty addict, dude. So I kind of
yeah.
am in this place where if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's you just have to try to give people even a sliver of hope, you know. That's also that some people need. Let's check in with chat real quick. Your boy B says tuning in late. Love you, my guy. Hey, thank you for being here. Your boy B, appreciate you. Um, so let's talk about, I like to talk about a rock bottom moment. Um and just to set the stage, we don't need to I like to always, start with that is we don't need to we can dive in as deep or as shallow as you want to. I feel like people have multiple rock bottom moments to most people do to choose from. I know I have many. But just to set the stage so that if someone else is going through something similar, or if someone encounters something in the future that's similar to your experience, that maybe we can give them some tools to get through it.
For sure. And I will, my narrative, the way I tell my story has drastically changed with healing. So a lot of people, if you caught my crash out season, you probably know how bad it got. Um, but it was just a culmination of happenstances in my life. And I had 16 years of recovery off of street amphetamines. So I had white knuckled my Adderall scripts when I was 20 and decided this is an issue. We just won't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I had come onto some heart hurt. I had a broken heart. And I went out and relapsed, and I could keep it under wraps a little bit. I would use a little bit before a show, and if people said I was too animated, I would gaslight the out of them. I would just be like, "Oh, you don't know me. You don't know what it's like to be on the stage. Like, I'm just a performer."
Yeah.
And I was actively dying on stage. I wasn't aware of fentanyl. I didn't know what fentanyl was. I didn't know that pills were being pressed. I was so ignorant, dude. I was telling myself, "You're getting the sick ass deal on these pills. Like, that's crazy. You're getting a really good deal."
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not real.
Yeah.
So I was playing Russian roulette.
Yeah, it's
Down to
scary
like,
shit.
it is, dude. And I had 16 years away from it. So I was, and they're right. You go back to using the same way you did when you left it. So I'm heartbroken. I'm running out to comedy. I'm using way too much. And finally, someone was like, "Yo, I'm going to take your kids from you." And I was like, "Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what?" So I had a court hearing for something that I was going through, and the judge was like, "I'm gonna let you keep your kids, but when you leave this courthouse, you better get in rehab." And so I did. I went for a 21-day inpatient. I was divorced. My divorce papers had been filed the day I went in, so I came home to no husband.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then within 6 weeks of, maybe 12 weeks, within 12 weeks of getting home, I had a house fire and I lost everything. So when I lost everything, I was sitting in my home. It's covered in ashes. We have nothing. And I remember crying to God and being like, how could you do this? Like, now I have nothing. And I remember hearing things like, you shouldn't have had to clean up that mess yourself. And I didn't understand that at first until I figured out we had insurance. So we didn't really lose it. We were going to get all that money. We could buy everything back.
Yeah.
Brand new with no memories of relapse and no memories of sadness or anger, right? So, but it took losing everything. I had my children living and I couldn't talk about it. I was scared that people would think the house fire was because I was an addict, because they talk about post-acute withdrawal syndrome. You actually forget how to speak correctly. Sometimes you forget how to write as your brain heals.
Yeah.
So I was so scared that someone would flip the narrative to I was a bad mom that I never talked about my house fire. I just dealt with it very silently. So I didn't lean on anybody for support. I was living in and out of hotel rooms. But in that solitude, I was really forced to drudge up all my strength.
Yeah.
Like any strength I had in me, I found it during that fire.
Yeah.
And so now when the little things happen that would have absolutely, my daughter just wrecked our car. She totaled it.
Oh,
She
no.
totaled our car and the car she hit. And
Oh,
when I got the phone call, I was like, it ain't no house fire. It
yeah.
ain't, I'm not leaving you guys to go to rehab. You're not hurt. Like the rock bottom for me really put into perspective how capable I could be for the nuances that were every day, for the everyday annoyances of carpool, of being alone, being a single mother again, being a divorcee, being in recovery. Like I always in the back of my mind, like, but you handled that house fire. Like, what do you think you can't handle? So there's a little arrogance there where I'm like, I was built for this life. I was built for trial and tribulation.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. That's amazing that you could take something like that important from something so tragic and devastating. I mean, being completely stripped down to nothing and having to rebuild and restart. I mean, it's kind of a hidden blessing in there a little bit, but at the same time, like like just like you said, the strength you had to find. Um, it will do something to build your character going forward.
For sure. And at five
Yeah.
feet, all I have is character, homie. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Like I got character for days.
Yeah, I've seen you stand on top of a speaker.
You got to. It's a real flex, let me tell you. When they started letting me do that, I was like, my ego's out of pocket, you guys. We're not gonna be able to get this hydrocephalus through the door. Like, let's
Yeah.
go.
Um,
And shout out to Cakes. I lost my mind in with George and Chad, and man, I got out of rehab and they licked my wounds, dude, and they gave me somewhere to really heal and really talk about it. And they never stifled me or tried to box me in. They always kind
uh-huh.
of like just like go girl.
Yeah.
So that was my family. I've never had friends. I've always had acquaintances and a couple best friends, but like as far as walking into establishment and feeling love,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's the Salem arena has given me for sure. And grace, so much grace, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you have to. You have to have grace. You have to afford other people the grace that you give yourself also, or that you should give yourself. I mean, I don't, it's pretty simple really you just give people grace, you know?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think, I think we're pretty quick to pass judgment these
ugh,
days, which
yeah.
is wild because the walks of life are many. There's so many. And I try to always tell people, like, experience led us here. Like, your opinion, it could be knowledge based, right? We could have read some books and that's why we feel the way we feel. But when you can bring it upon yourself to listen to someone's experience, usually you can understand why people think the way they do.
Hmm.
Like, even if the opinion differs from you and you hear why they have that opinion, you're like, damn, I could see that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that kind of circles back to like listening to people, you know, listening to hear them, to hear their story. Just the same as you would want someone to hear your story when you share, you know. It's
And the level of instant gratification that we deal with in this time is crazy. And I'm talking on every level. You want to see some boobs? You hit OnlyFans. You're not going to go court a woman and buy her meals and get to know her mom just so you can see her breasts. Like, that's out. Meals, you can go through a drive-through and you're going to get a meal in 7 to 10 minutes that has no nutritional value. That was an instant gratification. You get it
mhm.
with Tinder. You get it with Amazon. You don't have to wait until you're in that town that has that good store so you can get the boots you love so much. You see it, you like it, you want it, you buy it. It's
Oh my
delivered to your
god.
door.
Yeah. Just
Like,
just
instant gratification on every single level.
and
It makes me
it's
want a boyfriend in prison. Just so I gotta wait 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me write you love letters.
yeah. Yeah, you really have to teach yourself a bit of patience these days. Because it gets to be like overpowering, the need to just have everything right now. It's kind of like overwhelming a little bit, you know, and then you
And
don't, and then you
overstimulating.
have, yeah, and then you have those expectations that, you know, everything should come right now. And it's like, no, like maybe we do need to chill out a little bit and like just have some time where we're not constantly firing at all on all cylinders.
And
And
you see it in love too right now. You see it in marriages. You see marriages popping up left and right, ending just as fast as they came to fruition because there's no, we're not, it's not sanctity anymore. It's not, no, I knew her since she was 12 and I've loved her ever since. And I waited till we were 22 and I waited for her to go to college, or him or whatever, let's not
yeah,
make generals important. But, um, just that quick. And then you're on Instagram, you see a sweet piece of tail and then you forget about, it's forever and it's just consistent. It's the most wicked case of keeping up with the Joneses that I've ever seen in my life.
yeah,
And the Joneses sometimes are people you don't even know. You've never met them. You have no idea that they fight 12 hours a day in front of their
yeah,
kids. You
yeah.
just saw that one Instagram photo and you're like, that's what I want.
Yeah, it's the top 1% on social media of people's lives. You know, it's everything in between the real life stuff, you
That's
know? Like
right. That's why every once in a while I got to share some real life stuff. I got to cry in my story. I got to be like, just so you guys
mhm.
know, I'm trying not to suck the meth out of a homeless man's fingernails. It's been a hard Tuesday, all right?
Yeah, it's been a rough one. Just bear
Because
with me here,
otherwise,
you know?
we're selling a falsity. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Eleanore. I'm 2.5 years sober. Every day is really great and easy, and I love it. And then they're gonna be like, why? What am I doing wrong? Well, hi, I'm Eleanore Ryan. I'm sober, and every 3 days, I think about shaving my head. I'm
It
gonna shave my head, and so the crash out feelings don't really stop. I think the way we navigate them
yeah.
becomes easier, or
Yes.
at least
Yeah.
digestible to the homies. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't want to see you losing it.
Yeah. So what is what's one of your proudest moments in life? I like to kind of go full circle here. We like to talk about the trauma and then we like to talk about the triumph also.
Um, I have a sponsee that just got 5 months sober after a pretty long. Oh, she is one of my proudest moments for sure. And then with that would probably become coaching soccer.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked myself to a place. where other people are like, hey, come teach our kids.
Uh-huh.
And if that isn't a testament to societal forgiveness, I don't know what would be.
Yeah.
Right. So
Um,
like I just started that. I coach soccer.
that's awesome. What age?
5 and 6. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't listen to anything. I have a whistle and it does nothing.
It
One
just
girl said, "You
adds to
look
the
like an
chaos.
old child. You look like you have a grandma's face, but on a child." And I was like, "I'll catch you in 10 years." Like,
I'll show you what I can really do with this whistle, you know?
yeah, I know. And I have to remind myself, you got to be nice to other people's kids, Eleanor. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, act right.
I coached little league baseball for 2 years, like 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds, and it was a nightmare.
It's really hard. It's
It
really
was
hard,
fun. It was fun, but
but it is fun.
ugh, yeah, we didn't do a lot of winning, but we had fun. There was a lot of dirt eating and rock throwing and
Daisy
yeah,
picking.
yeah,
There you
yeah,
get the daisy pickers. They're the best.
yeah. So what has comedy like in the big picture, what has comedy meant for you?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. This is gonna get yeah, this is a little deep for me. I've always been very physically unappealing. I was an obese child. I was probably pushing 280 pounds on a 10 or on a 5 foot frame. Like I did not even get barely pretty until recently. Like we're talking, like oh my god, like no eyebrows. Like really struggled. I have a dwarfism that shows in certain spots, um, and so it makes me feel seen,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't go back into the shadows. Like comedy holds me accountable. Like if I got on the stage tweaking, people so upset. In my
Yeah,
brain, they would be disappointed. They would have lost money on a bet, like all sorts of things. So comedy keeps me accountable. It makes me feel like I have put in the work to even be allowed to be on the stage.
mm-hmm.
So it just gives me this sense of accomplishment like, hey, you're worthy of the mic.
Yeah,
Because I think there was a time when I was doing comedy that I wasn't, and that I had no business speaking into something that magnified my voice. But we should have just really reined it in that season. So the fact that I didn't lose the opportunity to continue to do this, that my producers and my audience found grace to give me,
mm-hmm.
is such a gift that I actually I feel it necessary to become famous. Like I feel it necessary
Yeah,
to show everybody that they didn't put $5 on the wrong horse.
yeah. Well, I think you are well on your way with just with the from the material that you have to the attitude and the drive and everything. Like I just very, very talented, and I think you just have a great head on your shoulders.
I really want to start a home for mothers in addiction where they could show up with their children and say, "Hey, I'm really sick." And then I could say, "Oh, that's cool. We're going to get you sober and I'll take care of the babies in the meantime."
Yeah,
Like you're not going to lose your kids. Like they're going to be here, they're going to be safe, and we're all going to work together and we're going to heal the family. So like there's some big goals on the end of comedy is just where I'm going to
yeah.
make the money to do the real work.
That's so amazing. That's really cool. So how long have you I'm intrigued now about that for sure.
I
Like
had a dream.
how long have you been thinking about that?
I had a dream. So I actually am a little psychic, and I don't talk about it because it makes me feel really crazy. And if you ask, there's a couple people in the arena you could ask, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it was really weird. She's psychic. We don't talk about it."
Yeah.
But I had a dream that that's what I needed to do. And it was probably 18 months ago. So I started looking into services that people offer. You've got services for teens, you've got services for the elderly, you've got all these services. But as a mom who relapsed, my biggest fear was losing my children. So I could have never gone into a doctor and said, hey, I need help. I couldn't have gone to DHS and said, hey, I need your help. Where is that place where a mother can be heard and
Right.
not immediately raked over the coals?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started thinking, well, they have orphanages, we have foster buildings where they put people. Like, why couldn't we have a recovery building where we're keeping the kids educated, right? And they're going to see mom maybe every 4 days, because it is hard to get sober when you have all of the requirements of being a mom.
Right.
But if you know that they're just down the way and that they're eating the same mac and cheese that you're going to eat, and
Mm-hmm.
that you see them every couple days, I think that that would help mothers not stay sick as long as we do. And it's not a knock to dads, I actually think it's both. I only say mother because I am one,
Right.
but it could be a parent somewhere where parents can go, you know what, I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of lying to people. I really need help. And that they could be on the same property, whether it was two buildings on 2 acres, and they had some horses separating them, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be more nuances, like, if abuse had occurred in the home. But I will die on the hill that drugs and alcohol change your soul. Like
It,
that you're making choices you would never, ever make unless you were high.
that's what I was gonna say. It definitely, like, you turn into a different person.
Dude,
Yeah.
demonic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I start to get biblical, when I'm like, yo, that's the devil. And the devil wants you because you have such a big purpose. Like when I see an addict really down and out, I'm like, oh my God, you probably have such a big calling that you don't go 10 minutes without the devil knocking. Because if you get sober, the darkness is screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I do. I worked for the darkness for a long time, and now I've switched it up, and I have all of that steam going into making change. That's why you were on my radar so hard. I'm like, all right, so he's talking about stuff and he's doing it. He's not just talking big game. You're doing it. So that's what I look for, is someone who's just got is a little bit more head than me. Like, how are you managing it? How does it work? I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to educate myself. I feel very slow. So lots of education this season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important thing, is once you talk about it, like, put those words into action. And that's one thing that I've tried to preach recently too, is it's not hard to just take the first step, and if you're scared of failing, it's fine. Take that
Dude,
first
that's
step
what it
anyways.
is.
Like
It's
you
it's
have
a
to start,
serious feel of fear of failure. But if you go into
Mhm.
like the entrepreneurial arena, they'll tell you, hey, fail fast, succeed sooner. The sooner you go out and scrape your knees and find out what doesn't work, the
Mhm.
quicker you're going to get onto the plan that does.
Yeah,
So I really
absolutely.
try to move in despite of fear.
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked about that on here before, the burden of failure, and like it gets heavy sometimes, but that's the heavy part, I think, is the fear of the failure. It's not the failure itself that's looming, so if you're
Yeah,
not
because those aren't
scared
even
of it.
that bad, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the licks are never what we've made it in our head. What,
Mhm.
like, I'll make a small error and in my head I'm like, there it is. You're done. No, but
Yep.
I get that way with comedy, especially because I like to talk about the hard things. I like to
Mhm.
go there. And you offend some people when you go there. And so that's one of my biggest things, is crying myself to sleep. Like, did I hurt someone's feelings? Like, that was just my truth. That's just how I feel.
Right.
And someone told me once, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. And if they
Oh,
try to
yeah.
tell you how they feel, you can say that. You can say, whoa, 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 whoa. That's your opinion about me. That's none of my business. I'm just out here doing what I feel the Lord calling me to do.
Well, and everyone has their own, like, you are 1,000 different people to, or you're 1,000 different people to 1,000 different people. You're not going to be the same person to everyone.
Right.
Everyone has a different opinion of you, and that's fine. And I try to tell my kids, like, don't try to find your value in the opinion of others, because you'll be disappointed every single time.
And that kept me sick for a long time. When I was like, okay, you said that, and that's truth. No, that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something is said does not make it true.
Nope.
But that was a tough one for me. People pleasing, codependency,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. People pleasing made me stay a little sick for a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Donnie Newman in the chat says, much love. What's up, my man? Thank you for tuning in. So let's see here. What do you advocate for? What does Eleanore Ryan advocate for?
Self-love. Uh, for sure. If you cannot give to someone else what you don't have. So if you're not loving yourself, if you're not hydrating yourself, if you're not eating well, if you're not resting, you nothing good is going to come to anybody else, right? So they talk about filling up cups. Yours has to be overflowing for you to aid someone else's cup. But oftentimes I see a lot of people, I'm one of them, that doesn't even have it to give. We're out trying to make a difference when really our home is suffering a little bit. So charity always starts in the home. Okay. You don't go out feeding homeless people if your belly's grumbling.
Right.
You know, that was a big one for me too, is knowing that it's okay to pause and really take care of yourself. And it would probably be followed by brotherly love. I love people that I don't know, because it's so easy, dude. It's so easy to see people and go, love you, brother. Like, that's so easy. I say it all the time. Like, I feel like hatred is hard.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's hard. It's hard to be negative, but people just, they go out of their way to do it nowadays, and I don't know why it's not easier for people to just be positive and just share love.
I think somewhere along the way, we got an idea that had to be reciprocated.
Yeah, and that
And we
sucks.
have to let go of that. You have to love because it's the right thing to do, and not love because you're getting loved in return. Sometimes the man that needs your love is so angry and so hurt that he is never going to thank you, and he is never going to acknowledge that you loved him. But that love probably kept him alive the next day. So if you're a person that needs that validation, you're going to struggle. You're going to
Yeah.
struggle just loving people.
Well, like you just said, like, some people don't have it to give, and those sometimes are the people that need it the most, and so you might not get it reciprocated back to you, but that person still needs it.
And I think so one end of the tube, right, is like gratitude and love and kindness. And when you open that and you give it to more, the other end of the tube is abundance and blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is tried and true for me. If you have $1 in your pocket and you see a man who needs 50 cents, give him the dollar.
Yeah.
Show the universe that you'll go without for the betterment of someone else, and watch yourself find a $10 bill when you're walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it works. I think that love is such a high vibrating exchange, and you can see it on people when you really listen and you say, hey, I just really care about you, and I see you, and I see what you're going through, and we don't have to talk about it, but I want you to know that someone out there sees you. You can see it affect them.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can see someone in real time feel like they're being loved. And if that's like a superpower. So if you're out there and you have that ability, I really hope you're using it, because if the world ever needed love, like, this would be the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's contagious.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it doesn't take much, just a little bit, and it might start that ripple effect that carries on. Uh-oh. Lost her again. She might be back. I would assume she'll be back here in a second. But man, it's been such a great episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Christine, your boy B, Donnie in the chat. All of you guys have been super great this evening. Hopefully everything's all right over on her end. And she was super kind to come on here and share with us and be vulnerable and just be honest. It's one thing that I love about this platform and the show that I have. And we talked about it a little bit with Eleanore, but I love hearing these questions, the things that people don't ask every day, and it really just helps spread the narrative that it's okay to talk about this stuff. It's okay to spread the word and to share love and to be open and just be open and honest and vulnerable with people around you, and good things will happen. You'll feel better about it. This stuff, negativity and hard times and hardship, it's not meant to be carried around. It's not meant to be carried on your chest all the time. So get that stuff out. Find somebody to talk to. It's does a world of difference just to get some of that stuff out. Let's see here. I want to do my self check. Actually, first of all, let's give a round of applause for our guest tonight, Eleanore Ryan, being here. Thank her so much. Self-check time. It's important to check in with yourself. If you guys are new to the show, I check in with myself every episode. Everything is still going pretty good. I know that last episode we did the self-check and I was beaming from the good news that we had gotten about the shows coming up. And so we got a little bit of bad news. The Dizzy Wright show on the 24th has unfortunately been canceled. I was super excited to host that show, but that one, apparently there was an issue with the venue. And so that's not going to happen. It's a real bummer. But the following weekend, we still have Stevie Stone and Pint. So I'm super stoked about that. And then I think I'm going to take the rest of, I don't want to put that in the universe that I'm going to take the rest of November off from performing. But I have 3 shows in December, 3 weekends in a row. And that gets exhausting. So we'll see what November brings. But we're going to finish the year off strong. Man, we did a bunch of shows this year. It was unbelievable to get back into the scene and get back into the swing of things, man. I missed it a lot. It's just good to be back creating again and have my hands in some of this stuff and just, be sharing my message with everyone. But I think we will end it with that tonight, guys. Everyone, I hope you guys have a good evening. Thank you all for being here. If you're over on Facebook or Twitch, come to the YouTube channel, smack that thumbs up. Thank you again to our guest, Eleanore Ryan. She was a trooper fighting through a little bit of technical difficulties and stuff. So we really appreciate her for taking the time to be here this evening. I appreciate all you guys for being here, taking the time this evening. If this episode resonated with you at all, make sure to share it with a friend. Everybody needs to hear something. We just might be the place to say it. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes. And remember, it's okay to not be okay. Tell somebody you love them. We will see you guys next time. But before I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpt of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed.